It makes absolutely no sense for the Vegas Raiders and the New York Giants to turn their backs on their best players. I'm beside myself about it. Good morning, everybody. That's Cody Decker right there. And that's Super Bowl champion, Mr. Plaxico Burress. And this is right in Plax's wheelhouse because one of his brothers, a New York Giant rock star, is now a man without a job as the New York Giants. Well, let's just get right to it. It's Tuesday morning. Headlines. Yes, look, the New York Giants offered him $22 million guaranteed, which amounts to the same amount of money he would make if they franchise him again next year. Saquon wanted more. The Giants didn't want to pay him anymore. And now if you're a New York Giant fan, any thoughts, any hopes, any dreams, any aspirations of winning a Super Bowl have gone right out the window. Whoa. What are they thinking about? You cannot win without Saquon Barkley because remember this, Giants fans. Daniel Jones is your starting quarterback, and he's not very good. Plaxico Burress, help me out.
I'm surprised. I'm shocked.
Shocked. This Plaxico Burress. Put that out on Twitter.
We sat here. We sat here on this show yesterday, and I said that I was optimistic and that Saquon Barkley and the New York Giants would get a deal done.
Yeah?
They did not. So, as of today, he is not under contract with the New York Giants.
He is not.
And he put out a tweet yesterday that said, "It is what it is."
Meaning it's a business, it is what it is. And
I'm trying to read between the lines of exactly what that means.
Yeah.
Is it a good, it is what it is, or it is a bad,
I think I would lean towards the bad because right now Saquon Barkley only has one choice, assuming the Giants don't do the unthinkable, which would be rescind the franchise tag and cut him, making him an unrestricted free agent, which they do have the right to do, which is getting in the weeds a little bit. No, I don't think they will either. But here's where it comes down to. I mean, we got to be fair to both sides, right? So let's play it out just very quickly because we got lots on Saquon throughout the day. The New York Giants said, we're going to franchise you next year also. They pretty much said it without saying those words because their best offer was apparently $22 million guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Nothing else matters. You could sign a guy to a $100 million deal. In the NFL, it doesn't mean anything. What's the guarantee? Well, the $10 million this year is the franchise guarantee. If they franchise him again next year, which is their right, it's about $12 million. Added up, that's $22 million. Mm-hmm. So what the Giants said to Saquon is this: we're going to guarantee you the 2 years. Now, from the Saquon side, he's like, I want more money. But here's the reality. If the New York Giants do franchise him again next year, and he didn't agree to that, the guaranteed deal right now, Saquon's going to play at some point this year with nothing guaranteed beyond this year. So the Giants said, look, we're going to franchise you, or we can just guarantee you both years. He's taking a risk, not taking the guaranteed money.
There's no guarantee that they are going to franchise him for the second year.
I think there is because they already did it once. Why not do it again?
If I'm a player in Saquon's position, I would rather have my $22 million in one season rather get it in two.
Sure.
Because you want to get as most guaranteed money.
I mean, I want 4 scoops of ice cream on the cone, but they only give me 2, Plax.
There's only 3 in a Sunday. 4 is being greedy.
Fair point.
Yeah, but it's bad for him. I feel bad for him as a player because he's one of those guys. He goes out there and gives everything that he has, every single day. He plays that way, and I've seen this play out with former players.
Sure.
Not signing the franchise tag, and I just kind of feel that everybody is going to try to make him to be the bad guy.
Yeah. Right now, I'd say in New York,
everybody's like, you know what? Just take the $10 million and go play football.
Right.
But it's his career.
Yep.
He can make those decisions about what he thinks is worth it.
We say this a lot. You cannot compare any other job on the planet to being a pro athlete. Right. Yes, it's easy for a truck driver to say, dude, they're paying you $10 million guaranteed to play football, or they offered you 22, just take it. Yeah, you're a truck driver. You're not a football player. He only has a couple cracks at making the life-changing generational wealth. Here's the end of it. Listen, you could take the Giants side. I've heard people do it, and I respect it. You could take Saquon's side, which is where I think we collectively are, and we could defend it and die on that hill. When it's all said and done, The New York Giants did not take a step forward towards winning a Super Bowl yesterday.
They did not.
And that's it. Whether you blame the Giants, whether you blame Saquon, it doesn't matter. We can argue it all day, maybe we will. The end result is the same no matter who you blame. The New York Giants are not better than they were a year ago. They are not closer to winning a Super Bowl because they need Saquon Barkley to do it. Period. Stop.
Right. If they were $2 or $3 million away in guaranteed money, there are ways around to get him those extra 2 or 3
like
million.
Easy incentives.
Put it in a roster bonus,
sure,
or put it in a workout bonus and things of that nature. Or give him easy to reach incentives. Maybe if an incentive where he plays 85% of the plays, which we know he will.
Right.
And I just don't see how they couldn't get this deal done if they're $2 or $3 million away.
Yeah, I think it's stupid. I also do, to be fair, I respect the fact that Joe Shane, the general manager of the Giants, is consistent, has a line he won't cross, and didn't cross it. I think he's hurting himself. Yes. I think he made the Giants a lesser team by not having Saquon there.
I think he wanted to cross it, but I don't believe the Maras wanted to cross it.
Oh, that's a different story.
Because you have to look at it from their side of view, because with this deal, they would have reset the market for the running backs.
Possibly,
and I
yes.
don't think that the Giants wanted to cross that road with the running backs coming forward.
We got lots more to do on the Saquon Barkley stuff, but let me go to headline number 2. Same story, different dude, different team. Josh Jacobs, you could argue even better than Saquon Barkley, 2,000 yards from scrimmage.
No.
Now listen to this story real quick, Plax. This is crazy. A lot of people thought they were far apart. Apparently they weren't. They were so close to getting a deal done that Josh Jacobs, true story, he's the one telling it, so I know it's true, was sitting in a car with Max Crosby, their talented defensive lineman, right? Mm-hmm. Across the street from the Raider facility in Vegas, because he thought calls coming in any second. We're this close to getting a deal done, and he wanted to celebrate with one of his best friends on the team, and literally run across the street from the parking lot. But the Raiders are the Raiders,
yes,
and they foobarred this deal just like the Giants did.
Sure did.
When I first heard this story, I'm thinking to myself, why is he sitting in the car with Max Crosby and not his agent?
Yeah, well, his agent, I guess, was inside trying to get the deal done.
He needs to be sitting with. Max Crosby is not going to help you sign your contract. And it's unfortunate for all these running backs because they don't have a job as of today.
Right.
And nobody knows when we're going to see him.
Well, look, here's the deal. They all have the right to show up and make their $10.1 million. The outside of that is if they blow games off or sit out, it will cost them $563,000 for every game that they sit out. You can't walk away from that kind of loot, Plax.
Well, we have seen players walk away from it, and you got to think to yourself with the tweet that Saquon put out yesterday, it is what it is. Is he the guy to take a stand to change the trend?
Yeah, well, we're going to find out. I know all the running backs are kind of collectively, expressing their displeasure.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey, even former running backs aren't even in the league anymore. I'll tell you this. If you go back to the late 80s, there was a group of quarterbacks that were not happy with their union representation in the NFL, and they created something called the Quarterback Club. It was Bernie Kosar, Warren Moon, Jim Kelly, Boomer Esiason, and on. Yeah. And they forced the union to change how they did business with the league because they represented themselves in all marketing deals, health insurance, all that stuff. Let's see if the running backs kind of band together and try to do something similar. But there's a side story with Josh Jacobs, and I'm frankly a little upset about it, if I may.
Okay.
Why?
I went online this morning to support my guy, Josh Jacobs, because as you know, Plax, you used to listen to me in the radio here in New York City. I'm a pro player guy. I'm Mr. Player all the time. Josh Jacobs blocked me on Twitter.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
100%
right
there you go, Josh.
What did you do?
Got it, boy.
Good job, Josh.
Got it,
Greg,
boy.
what did you do? Honestly, what did you do?
All I have done is support Josh Jacobs and his quest for a new
When have you
contract.
supported him?
I have not seen this
All
happen.
I've done is say the Raiders are incompetent. Josh Jacobs is a rock star.
No,
That is true. But I do not remember
the
you
Raiders
saying
will
that.
come in dead last in the division. That's all you said.
Yes.
The Raiders are going to come in dead
All right,
last.
that's
Might
why
be
you
true,
got
but
blocked.
that's why you
And
blocked you.
yes, Josh Jacobs has never won a playoff game.
Stop it.
But it's not his fault.
It is your fault. That's why you got blocked.
Somehow I got blocked by Josh
Good.
Jacobs.
Good for
and I'm
you.
very, very upset about it. I really am. More on that later on in the show. We have a segment, who's better than Josh Jacobs?
Right.
Yeah, the answer is no one.
All right, then, headline number 3, staying in the NFL. Dak Prescott, I mean, you talk about being tone deaf. Dak Prescott came out and said, I'm quoting now, I know who I am. I won't have 10 interceptions this year.
Who are you?
One guy in the back thought that was funny.
I don't know.
Yeah,
He's a Giant fan.
By the way, I know who you are also, and you're right. You can have more than 10.
Stop it.
I mean, you led the league in interceptions last year. You didn't play in 5 games. Right. So he says right there, it's a direct quote from the Star-Telegram in Fort Worth, I won't have 10 interceptions this year. He had 50% more than that last year and only played in 11 or 12 games. Right?
Hey, listen, when I was on the show a few weeks ago, when I came out and said that the Dallas Cowboys wouldn't win the championship, they called me everything under the sun in Dallas. But I'm not backing off it.
Nor should you.
Be careful what you ask for, because all the interceptions are not your fault. Sometimes batted balls comes off the receiver's hands.
Yeah.
So you just can't make that guarantee that you're not going to throw 10 interceptions, because you just never know what's going to happen.
However, that one was his fault.
Oh, yeah. He threw that one straight through him. That was like Neil O'Donnell to Larry Brown.
You get the Super Bowl. That's exactly right. Now, there are some people out there, Dak supporters, he has a fan club, I guess, who are claiming that the quote in the newspaper we just showed you was misrepresented, and that he did not say 10 interceptions. He said tipped interceptions.
No.
So, I mean, I did it all morning. In my office, I was saying to myself, 10 tipped, tip 10, tip 10, 10 tipped.
So you was basically reading his lips.
They're not even close to each other, the two words.
Yeah.
The man came out, he hears all the boo birds. He's not blocked me out on Twitter, but he will. And he said 10 interceptions. You heard him.
I heard him loud and clear.
There you go. Okay, so Plax is on board with me. Memo to Cowboy fans, he will probably throw 20 interceptions.
Dude.
It's just what he does.
No, it's not.
He did a 23andMe. It's in his DNA.
He said it was not in his
interceptions
DNA.
in what?
12
games.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, not good. He'll probably throw 20 if he plays all 17 games, right? I'm just hoping Cooper Rush gets in. And by the way, speaking of another bad interception by Dak there, don't forget Sunday afternoon, September 10th. Guess who plays each other? The Saquon Barkley-less Giants and Mr. Interception, the Dallas Cowboys. That is the opening Sunday of the NFL season. And I can tell you something right now. If Saquon has the guts to sit out the game against Dak Prescott and they lose, see how quickly Giants fans turn on Joe Shane. We have headline number 4. Sticking with the NFL. Count them down, boys. Bente Quattro, 24 hours away from training camp opening up, and my guys are throwing medicine balls like it's their business. But yeah, we are 24 hours away from the New York Jets opening up the 2023 training camp season, and then the Hall of Fame game after that, and it's all green, baby.
I would like to know the record of the teams in the regular season, the teams that play in the Hall of Fame game.
I can't answer that for you.
Because the starters don't play in the first game.
Well, no, in this one they are.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
no, they're not.
Oh, yeah,
Aaron Rodgers is not playing in the Hall of Fame.
He's playing all 4 quarters, matter of fact.
He's not.
You know why?
He won't play he'll play maybe 2 games in the preseason. He will not play in 2 weeks.
Well, then if the Jets don't play all their starters week 1 in the Hall of Fame game, I'm going to have a serious problem with the New York Jets.
They will not.
I'll tell you why.
They will not.
We need to beat the Browns 80-0 and announce
that's
to the
not
league,
gonna happen.
we're here. Y'all got to deal with us.
None of the starters play in the Hall of Fame.
Now, this is different.
No, it's not.
This is just going to be a little different because the New York Jets have never had any success at all.
You're right.
And now
they should be playing because they need all the work that they can get.
Right. And now we've got the expectations of Aaron Rodgers there. I think we set the tone week 1, Hall of Fame game with an 80-point drubbing of the Cleveland Browns.
Aaron Rodgers is going to walk into Robert Sala's office and say, listen, I'm not playing in the Hall of Fame game. Robert Sala's going to say, okay. That's exactly what this is going to happen.
I think you're wrong. And by the way, I am playing golf with Robert Saleh today.
You are.
And I will make it clear to him over 18 very long holes that he should play all of his starters today.
I hope it's a rain out.
See, you would hope that it was a rain out.
You know, I'm going to be there too, and I'll be able to report what he says back to you, and he's going to say that you're insane.
I don't make anything up. Everything I tell you is the gospel.
Is Cody a caddy?
I invited Cody to play.
I get to play.
Because they have caddies there.
Okay.
And I had already invited Cody to be there to caddy, but but he's not allowed to caddy, so he's got to play.
Well, you got invited because I said no yesterday.
That is also true.
I told him that.
Right.
So did Nick Mangold and Victor Cruz.
I play with professionals, not amateurs.
It feels so less special now.
We got one more headline for you. This one hurts me to my core, right in my solar plexus, which is where my soul resides. Yeah, right there. Shohei Ohtani.
Number 17.
That's the seventh inning with a slow motion bat flip.
I like it.
Yeah, man on first, down by 2. Ohtani ties it right there with a 2-run bomb. Then he wears the home run hat afterwards, and that's his 35th home run.
They got a curtain call.
The Angels beat the Yankees in 10 innings. The Yankees have now lost 2 out of 3 to the Rockies.
I
they
don't
lose
understand
to the Angels.
the acumen of baseball.
Go.
Why is that so disrespectful when he flips the bat?
I'm with you on that. I don't
It
care.
is not.
It's not disrespectful.
Matter of fact, I like it. We need more personality in baseball.
We need more of that.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta admit that is a nice flip though.
Yeah,
great flip.
It's almost like Tiger Woods just with the twirl with the
Yeah,
club.
a little twirl with the putter right there, or the driver. In any event, the New York Yankees did have a chance to get him out later in the game. There's some questions. Should they walk him? Should they not walk him?
They did walk him.
I would have drilled him, personally.
Why?
And here's why.
No.
I'll tell you why. If you're going to put him on first base anyway, get your money's worth. Right in the butt cheeks.
You don't even need to throw 4 pitches. You can just say go to first base.
I drill him right in the back.
If this is a guy you're trying to trade for, why are you trying to drill him in the back?
Because he flipped his bat on me, so I drill you.
You just said it wasn't disrespectful 30 seconds ago.
I like the bat flip, but I also understand baseball rules. You're going to bat flip me, I'm going to drill you.
You just said yesterday he's going to the Yankees.
He is.
Now you want to hit him?
Yeah, you got to hit him so you welcome him with tough love. Yeah. Like when you went to the Giants, didn't they try to haze you a little bit when you first got there?
Never.
Never? No, there was no hazing at all?
No
it was like
hazing.
open arms, Plaxico Burress.
Like, what do you want me to say on television?
Did you haze Eli Manning a little bit?
I did not.
Little teeny bit?
Eli's a prankster, that guy.
He is a prankster.
Yeah.
By the end of the week, we will get some stories out of Plaxico Burress. Anyhow, he hits his 35th. Now, Cody, he's apparently on pace for 60
Yes, he is.
home runs. The Angels have now lost 11 out of the last 14 games. Last night, of course, is a win. That's his comparison with Judge's historic year a year ago.
Oh, you mean it's better?
But what's weird is that
It is a
he's
little
got
better.
more home runs,
Yes.
but he's on pace to hit less home runs. So I don't really quite understand that.
Judge really had a very good last month of the season going
is that
into,
right?
and then he kind of slumped a little bit towards the end there. But yeah, listen, he's Ohtani. He's the best player currently alive, and you have to finally admit that he's better than Aaron Judge. Say it out loud. Go.
Aaron Judge, if and when he plays, is the best player in baseball because he actually plays defense.
Pitches! He's literally a pitcher!
He plays every 5 days. Play every day and come back and talk to me.
This is the worst take.
In any event, last night's another reason why the New York Yankees need to make a deal for Ohtani.
They do.
They have no offense. Judge may or may not come back. You got to go get this guy, or the Yankees are in danger of not making the playoffs.
They are in danger of not making the playoffs.
I said it yesterday.
Yeah.
You was looking at me like I was crazy.
Well, you are crazy.
I am.
Yeah, crazy knows crazy. That's why I'm looking at you.
No Aaron Judge or no Aaron Judge.
Listen, we got much more coming up. A lot of today's focus is going to be on the fact that running backs are being disrespected. Tony Pollard, no deal. Josh Jacobs, no deal. And, of course, Saquon, no deal. We also have some basketball coming your way. Why does James Harden hate Philadelphia? Find out after this.
Greetings, soccer fans. Are you ready for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup? Because we are. That's right. Australia and New Zealand, look out. State of the Union is coming. And we'll be going above and beyond down under. We'll have new podcast episodes every single match day. So follow Alexi Lawless's State of the Union on the Fox app, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Anyhow, welcome back to the show. Somehow, some way, people think now that James Harden no longer gets along with Daryl Morey. They're best friends, or used to be best friends, but the report out there is that their relationship is now fractured, which is why Harden, who, by the way, opted in to a $35.6 million one-year deal, is apparently begging his way out of Philadelphia. Listen, I know that this comes from a reputable source. I just ain't buying it. I'm not buying it because the reason he went to Philly is because Daryl Morey's there. He opts into the contract for $35.5 million. And, oh, by the way, Philly is really good. Yeah, as Black said yesterday, worst case scenario, they're still a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference. You could argue where they are in that top 4, but you may even see they're top 3 if you want to take Miami out, not knowing what they do with Dame Lillard. But the notion that he's demanding or begging for a trade and then specifically wants to go play for the LA Clippers, that ain't happening unless you decide, oh, we're going to get rid of Paul George and trade him straight up, which doesn't make any sense if the Clippers think that they're going to be good enough to make a run out west. So for me, Plax, in Philadelphia, and this is often the case, lots of smoke, but maybe no fire.
I think James Harden, number one, opts into this contract because he knows that nobody's going to give him that money on the open market.
Yep.
So it would be a sign and trade for him to go to the Clippers, but he doesn't make the Clippers a better team. He doesn't make them
not if they're giving up Paul George to get him.
Championship contender. So I don't understand why he would want to go to the Clippers. And I've heard that Daryl Morey even has a picture of James Harden in his office.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's urban legend, but supposedly they were that close.
So that tells me that their relationship is not fractured.
I agree.
But I think he stays in Philadelphia and doesn't go to the Clippers.
Do you think he stays there for the strippers or the cheesesteaks?
Cheesesteaks.
Both. Now, if I may share a story that I was just told during the break, you have a very special connection to the Philadelphia cheesesteak, despite the fact you never played for Philly. What is it?
Yeah, this is the only relationship that I have with the city of Philadelphia. In 2006, when I caught the game-winning touchdown, we were playing down in Philadelphia. I got a chicken Philly outside the locker room because they have the food on the table.
So a chicken cheesesteak.
A chicken Philly, cheesesteak.
Yep.
And we would take the bus to Philly because, obviously, because of the proximity. And I bite into this chicken cheesesteak, and we're about to get on 95, and I stand up and I tell the bus driver, I said, "Stop! Wait a minute." I said, "Turn around and go get me another cheesesteak." And everybody on the bus is looking at me like, "Dog, you can't be serious."
Right, we're on 95, we're going home.
And guess what the bus driver did?
He stopped.
He turned around and got me another cheesesteak.
We call that a flex.
Yeah.
But you would have thought after winning a game in Philly, the New York Giants might have bought every player 2 cheesesteaks.
But, they just have food outside of the locker room.
You just grabbed one. I got you.
We don't get the opportunity to
Now,
go
here's
out
the
to
question. When the bus driver stopped and turned around and went back to Ishkabibbles, wherever he got these cheesesteaks from in Philadelphia, were you the only one to get an extra one?
No, about 4 or 5 guys got off the bus. Hey, I don't know who this driver is, but whoever you are, DM me and I get you a cheesesteak.
Baby.
There you go.
All right, a little more NBA for you. Jimmy Butler, in the middle of lovemaking sessions with Shakira, said that, and I'm quoting, "A championship is coming to the future in Miami." Here's Jimmy Butler. Go ahead.
It's always the same expectation. I have to be able to get us over the hump to win a championship. I know that the group of guys that are always placed around myself is capable of it. Maybe we all got to do a little bit more, but a championship is coming to the future in Miami.
No, not with the current roster you got. It's not. I guess he was in China for a sneaker announcement or something like that. But look, don't forget Miami, barely got into the playoffs this year, lost the first playing game to Atlanta, and was down with like 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter to Chicago, and then bang, all of a sudden they go on this crazy run, as you know, to the NBA Finals. They're not winning a championship, and frankly, they're not even close.
I mean, I love that mentality of Jimmy Butler. You got to love his competitiveness, but with the current roster that they have,
not good enough.
Unless they land Damian Lillard, that's really not a contender. Gabe Vincent is on the move. Max Strus is gone. So that roster is not championship ready. And we saw a couple of weeks ago that Pat Riley came on a record and said that Tyler Hero was not expendable.
Yep.
Well, Pat Riley, you're looking at this the roster, you're saying maybe he is expendable. And if you can get a Dame Lillard for Tyler Hero, I think you make that move.
Yeah, the problem with that, the trade that was out there that was reported was that it was Tyler Hero, 4 number 1s, and 3 first-round swaps. Now, look, Dame Lillard is a great player, but he's also well into his 30s now.
Right.
He doesn't have another 10 years on his career because that's the way it goes. And you're telling me that you're going to give up 4 first-round draft picks, 3 first-round swaps, and Tyler Hero, it just doesn't make sense.
But the Miami Heat are a team that they don't really draft high.
Nope, 9 guys weren't even drafted.
They find guys that are undrafted in the second round or on the street, and they produce them.
Yeah, the problem is that you can get away with that and kind of be cute about it maybe once or twice. But year after
They've
year
been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, but year after year after year, it's very hard to compete when other guys have legitimate blue chip talent and you're taking guys off the street. Like famously, 9 out of their 12 guys last year's playoff run were undrafted. So guys with chips on their shoulders. You guys want to dive for loose balls, all the stuff we talk about. Right. But I'll just say right now, it's more likely that the way they're currently constituted, that Miami's not even in the playoffs, then makes a run to a title. They're not very good.
They were just in the finals.
I know, they're not very good, though.
They will make the playoffs. Come on.
They're not very good.
You got to give them a little bit more respect
saying
than that.
They're not very good. They're not a top 4 team. They're most likely a best of playing team. Again, maybe you didn't hear me. They're not very good. They're just not.
With Dame, they're a top 4 team.
With Dame,
they're a top 4 team.
It depends what we're giving up to get them, right?
Is it weird that you're saying this today, the one day this week Tim Hardaway is not on the show?
I know, man. Unbelievable.
Timmy.
Seems like a really bold move.
No, he's not. He's a little guy. I know Tim is back. Tim is back tomorrow. He's actually in Springfield right now at a Hall of Fame luncheon, with Chris Mullen, by the way. Oh. And I know both guys well.
Great 17.
And neither guy says no to a free lunch, so that's why they're there.
Hey, Tim likes great company, man. What can you
yes,
say?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. By the way, Lakers legend James Worthy came out of hiding yesterday and said that LeBron James deserves a statue in Cleveland. Uh-huh. He deserves a statue in LA.
Okay.
But he does not deserve a statue in Miami. What? Here's the Laker great James Worthy. Go ahead.
You can't argue that he could get a statue in Los Angeles. And he could get one in Cleveland as well.
Okay.
So I don't know about Miami, but bringing one to Cleveland and Los Angeles is doable, in my opinion.
You're wrong, James, and I love you to death. One of my favorite players of all time. He does not get a statue in L.A. He's not done anything in L.A. If you want to say he gets one in Cleveland because he's a hometown kid who brought them their first championship for that city in 100 years, I'm good with that 100%. Give him a statue outside of Cleveland. He don't get one in Miami. They won before he ever got there, and then they won with him. He doesn't get one in LA either. He's not a Mount Rushmore Laker of all time and never will be.
He definitely should get one in LA. In fact, we actually did a great mock-up not too long ago what the trophy should actually look like.
We did?
The statue, yeah.
Was I perfect?
Wow.
See? Now, if you want to put a bubble out there, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But he doesn't. Listen, it's a silly argument. If you're a legitimate Laker fan, and you are.
I am.
The notion of LeBron James getting a statue is a joke. And I'm sorry, it's a joke.
I can see Cleveland. Cleveland. I understand that maybe Miami.
I can't.
They won without him. 2 world championships in 6 seasons. But when I think about Los Angeles Lakers, I think about tenure. All those guys that have statues, Kobe, Shaq, Jerry West, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic, Chick Hearns, all those guys never played for another organization. They were all lifetime Lakers.
Well, other than Shaq,
I think about a longevity and tenure when you talk about statues in Los Angeles.
Yeah, just listen. This is one of those LeBron things where he wants a statue. He's going to beg for a statue. He did break Kareem's record in the Lakers
fine.
Jersey. He broke Kareem's record.
I understand.
The majority of his points aren't in L.A. Okay. He's got a Fugazi championship in L.A.
Won.
And here's the thing: at some point, we can all stop kissing LeBron's butt. He's one of the greatest players of all time.
There's a possibility he may have 3 statues. We don't know.
He shouldn't. Cleveland, yes, I get it. I totally get it. Maybe we should just rename the NBA trophy the LeBron James Trophy.
There's a possibility.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
All right.
Yeah, that's right. It's crazy.
Magic Johnson has a trophy named after him. Michael Jordan has a trophy named after him.
And when LeBron retires, I'm sure they're going to rename a trophy after him as well.
Yeah.
He's one of the great players to ever play, but he's not one of the great Lakers to ever play.
Will you change your mind if he wins a championship with the Lakers this season?
I will never change my mind, and no matter what
That
he
is a
does,
strong word.
he
Never.
will never, ever
Never
be
is a strong word.
a Mount Rushmore Laker. He's never going to even be in the conversation as a Mount Rushmore Laker. Ask real Laker fans; they'll tell you the same thing.
I agree with that. I don't think he is a Mount Rushmore.
Jerry
Laker.
West, Kareem, Magic, Kobe, Worthy.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go on and on and on.
They may add one more guy.
Yeah,
It
that's
may
only
be
4.
five.
It's a Mount Rushmore. There's only 4 presidents.
They may be 5.
There's not 7 presidents of the Mount Rushmore.
You never know.
Although I think Trump does want to add his bust to it if he's reelected. In any event, it's I respect James Worthy a great deal. He is one of the great Lakers of all time. And this is one of those silly conversations that LeBron makes us have. Because LeBron's hopefully going to say, I deserve a trophy, a statue in L.A.
Do you think James Worthy is worthy of a statue?
No, I don't. I don't.
Why is everybody so quick to say no?
You asked me a question, I answered it. I'll tell you why. Because it'd be like saying the Giants put a statue of you outside the stadium.
Who would you consider first for a trophy? James Worthy or LeBron James in L.A.?
If I had to pick one and I was forced to, James Worthy.
Okay.
Yes, no doubt about it.
Okay.
Now, neither one of them should get a trophy, right? You would like, to me, a statue. To me, statues outside stadiums should be reserved for the undeniable greats of the greats, which is why in Philadelphia, just to come full circle here, it's a joke that they have a statue of Nick Foles, right? Outside the stadium.
But it's a Philly special.
But they have Nick Foles was a quarterback for 3 minutes.
But they won
for
one
the Eagles.
championship, and that was the moment.
It was like Rocky, Nick Foles.
Right, like Rocky's done more for the city than Nick Foles could ever do.
And it
for
wasn't
the
even
city.
real. It was a made-up character.
Frazier's from there.
All right, listen, we got much more coming up. My main guy, who I think I might be boxing sometime soon, Asante Samuel. I love this guy. I'm trying to get him hired here in FS1, or at least to come by for a guest spot. Do you know Asante?
I know Zon very well.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You got to help me get him on the show. I can't wait to talk to him. He said what I've been saying for a long time. Bill Belichick's a joke. You'll hear it from his own mouth right after this.
Hey, college football fans, Joel Klatt here, and I am so happy to announce my new interview series, The Joel Klatt Show Big Noon Conversations. Every Monday, we will bring you a candid conversation with the most influential voices in college football. From Colorado's Coach Prime to Coach Saban down in Tuscaloosa, we sit down and discuss all things college football. Download The Joel Klatt Show Big Noon Conversations wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to the new Joel Klatt Show YouTube channel.
By the way, last night we almost lost a life at a ball game, which is no laughing matter. Cincinnati Reds were playing the San Francisco Giants.
They were.
And there was a big rain delay, so the grounds crew came out to put a tarp over the field. One chubby guy didn't make it.
Oh.
Didn't quite make it all the way to third base. He's circled in blue. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can. Oh, no! Here's the best part.
They rolled over him.
Yep. Gotta leave a man behind, man.
And that's the best part. They saw that he fell underneath. They just kept going. Man,
Is he still under there?
Oh, he's under there. There he is.
Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? I can find my way to freedom. And eventually, he does get out from underneath the tarp, and he winds up. His whole body is soaked wet. But they don't get. They're cutthroat. Those grounds crew people, Cody.
Yes, they are. They gotta leave a man behind, man.
Like once you see the guy go down, don't just stop and look at this guy. Same game. He's like, I'm not letting go.
He's doing it himself, man.
These guys.
The wind was trying to take it too. This guy was holding on for dear life.
And he's like a 65-year-old guy. I'm not letting go.
But why are they running on the tarp, though?
Because it was raining.
Well,
yeah.
the tarp is laid out in a certain way, and you got to run across when you lay it all out.
You would
It's
think
huge.
with all the
That
technology
seems
we have,
backwards, right?
I agree with you 100%. You think with the technology that exists, we'd find some type of automated way to very quickly cover the field? But it's always good to see a fat guy get caught underneath the tarp. I'm just saying, like, fat people do funny things.
Stop trying
is always good for business, Cody.
Stop trying to let AI take people's jobs. That's their job, and I want them to keep their job.
Fine. That's their jobs. Hey, honey, guess what? I just got promoted. Now what do you do? Well, I'm the fat guy that runs the tarp on the field. All right, listen, speaking of baseball, Asante Samuel, my favorite guy lately, former NFL, who I think wants to box me coming up, and has not yet blocked me on Twitter.
Take him out.
Asante Samuel was doing some type of interview and was asked specifically about Bill Belichick being the greatest coach of all time. And like me, he says, no, sir. Listen to Asante Samuel.
Is he the best coach in NFL history?
Absolutely not.
Whoa.
Are you crazy?
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Well, look at his record without Tom. You got to win without Tom.
So you telling me?
One thing I learned about being great, you got to be great in different situations. It was all Tom. I was there. I saw it. It was Tom. Everybody know it. Tom know it, but he ain't going to admit it because he want to be politically correct. That's why I'm here.
That's why
I'm going to tell the truth.
That's why you're not afraid.
And and
you got experience to talk the truth.
Because I've been there. I've seen it. I confronted him. We've been through it. And that's how I do.
Wow. Tell it like it is,
Let's go.
How that guy's not on TV every day,
Tell it like it is,
but that's my new favorite former player, no disrespect. You played against Asante many times.
I played against him, man. He was a hell of a corner. He was a great competitor. And if he saw the quarterback throw the football, and you weren't working back to it, he would take it right from you.
Yeah, except in the Super Bowl.
Except in the Super Bowl.
And without Asante Samuel's drop in the Super Bowl, you don't have a ring.
I don't. But I have to agree with him, man. We said yesterday that Belichick is a master planner. I agree with that.
Yep.
But him being the greatest NFL coach of all time,
he's going to get that nod.
I have to agree with Zunt. But they haven't been to the playoffs since Tom Brady left.
Yeah, I think
look at his record.
that's the last 3 years right there. 500, only one playoff appearance. Now, to be fair, he's got your guy Macaroni Jones at quarterback, but he drafted him also.
25,
no
25.
playoff wins, obviously no Super Bowl wins. Look, it's, they are connected at the hip. There always will be. Brady winning in Tampa changed the narrative a little bit because he won without Belichick. Belichick did not win without him in New England. But I love the fact that a guy that played for Belichick and had great success, as Asante Samuel did, is now coming out telling you, hey, on behalf of the guys, we respect Bill, but he ain't winning without Tom Brady.
I agree with him, man. I really do. I mean, I think that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game.
Yep.
And I've said that on several occasions. And you look at the success that he's having now, he's really not having any success and not really any football games. And Tom Brady showed that when he went down to Tampa Bay and won a world championship. Like I always say, if you made Tom Brady, then make you another one.
Exactly right, which he's not yet done with Mac Jones at all. By the way, one more NFL note for you. Micah Parsons put out a tweet that caused some people to raise their eyebrows. It's kind of similar to the Jalen Brown tweet from the last couple of years about his finances and his mom's role in his finances. There's Micah Parsons. My mom still pays for my phone bill and my Netflix account. Save what you can. Hashtag Mama's Boy.
Oh, wow. That's a boy.
Look, I got 4 kids. Yeah. That means they're going to be on the payroll for the rest of my life. If Micah Parsons ain't paying his mom's Netflix and she's paying his, we're all in trouble. That's all,
man,
right?
that is priceless. You got to love it. Mamas and their boys.
That's it. I brought up Jalen Brown because Jalen Brown famously, he's made hundreds of millions of dollars. His mom shares the bank account with him and approves all of his purchases. And she had said to him, being frugal, he doesn't come from money. Spend your endorsement money. Don't spend your paycheck. And no joke, there's a time where he went out to buy a $100,000 car, a nice car, nothing crazy, but a nice car. And his mom goes, $100,000 for a car? Are you crazy? He's like, Mom, I made $53 million last year. I can buy myself a nice car. But she had to sign off on it.
Impressive.
It's like Marshawn Lynch, who hasn't spent a game check and continues to live off his endorsements.
Right?
It's the same kind of deal.
Gronkowski's the same way.
Yeah, but you got to love it, man. His mom still pays his bills. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that his mom is getting some kind of, maybe she has a nice house and all those things. So she doesn't mind using his money to pay his phone and Netflix bill.
Listen, moms will never ever make you forget that they raised you. They were there before you were who you are now. That's all. Hey, by the way, coming up, obviously the focus of a lot of today is football. Saquon Barkley does not get a deal done. Josh Jacobs does not get a deal done. And others, Tony Pollard does not get a deal done. But the New York Jets open up training camp tomorrow, so we can ask you that question. While those teams scramble to figure out what they're doing, the Jets are going to win a Super Bowl.
Oh, man.
The world's best skateboard, BMX, and Moto X athletes are heading to X Games California to compete for gold. Download the free Caffeine TV app to watch all the best tricks on the X Games channel. You can tune in to catch Tony Hawk, Salema, Nyjah Houston, Sky Brown, and more live from July 21st through July 23rd. And watch on demand anytime after.
A little something we call first in football. And yeah, we're looking at Sauce Gardner and the New York Jets and not being fazed by pressure. And that's the reality because that guy is the next coming of greatness in the NFL. Here's what Sauce Gardner had to say. Go ahead.
Me and A-Rod, like we were saying, we built for it. And, I know he's going to lead the offense. And he's going to lead the whole team. That's why Coach Sala, Joe D, that's why they brought in guys like, Alan Lazard, Miko, the guy who won the Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers, all those type of guys. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to it. He's right. That's exactly why you bring him in. And then guys like Alan Lazard and guys that obviously Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett are comfortable with, who know the offense, et cetera. And, that guy comes back, and you could speak this better than anyone, Plax. The growth in an NFL player from year 1 to year 2 is greater than any other years of your career because now you understand the speed of the NFL. And Sauce, of course, has, an all-pro type rookie season, defensive rookie of the year. You have to assume he's only going to get better.
Hold on, young fella. We don't know if he built for it just yet.
Oh, okay.
I will say that. I think Sauce is a very good player.
Yeah.
But the jump from the second year to the third year.
You think that's the biggest jump?
Is the biggest jump. But I think he's a tremendous talent. He's a lot better than I thought he was coming out of college. And he's definitely a Darrelle Revis type. And Aaron Rodgers has bought that spotlight on him and the whole entire team and organization. And everything that they do on Sundays through the week, and on Sundays especially, will be overgeneralized, criticized. So the Jets, more than any team in this league this year, are under a microscope.
Yes.
And every little thing that goes wrong will be a story.
They've, as you guys all know by now, they had Hard Knocks shoved down their throats, which I like. The more Jets on TV, the better for me. But the Jets also came out yesterday and said, look, here's the deal. There's a lot of stuff we ain't showing you.
Right.
We're not going to let you see players get cut. Because we're sensitive to that. We're not going to let you inside certain meetings that we have. Last time they did it, it was Rex Ryan as head coach, and it was basically, come on in.
It was a free fall.
Yeah, you go, watch me shove that.
Y'all want some chips and salsa? I got some Bud Light over here, too.
Let's all get snacks.
That's Rex.
That was the line.
Oh, you like pizza? I got that, too.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot different than last time because the regime is very, very different. Brings us to second at football. Packers defensive tackle Kenny Clark believes that the Green Bay Packers are being disrespected, and he's embracing it. He said 100%, but it's cool. I like it that way. Everybody says Aaron Rodgers determined whether we win or lose.
He did.
So we love it. Well, I mean, yeah, message to Kenny Clark, spot the lie.
Yeah. Well, who the hell is Kenny Clark?
Exactly right.
I mean, nobody disrespecting the Packers. It's the fact that you've had franchise quarterbacking for the last 40 years between Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
That's right.
So now Jordan Love is your franchise quarterback, and nobody knows what he's capable of. So you're going to be disrespected until you go out and perform.
Plus, you have
maybe win the division.
For the first time in a while, Detroit's a team on the rise.
Right.
Chicago made wholesale changes to their roster. And, oh, by the way, Who else is sitting out there?
The Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings, who made the playoffs last
who
year.
Justin Jefferson doesn't even consider his own quarterback as being top 5.
Who would have thought that Jared Goff would ever be considered the best quarterback in a division? But right now, he probably is considered the best quarterback in that division. Anyhow, third and football, Cincinnati Bengals defensive end Sam Hubbard credits Joe Burrow. That's right, for the Bengals winning culture. This is why these guys normally don't get interviewed. But here he is. Listen to Sam yourself. Go ahead, guys.
You know, we struggled in Cincinnati for many years. I grew up a Cincinnati fan, and, I'm one of the longest tenured Bengals nowadays. But, it all starts with our quarterback. We got a great quarterback that we believe in Joe Burrow. And having a guy like that you can always play hard for, and you always know you're in every game, it inspires the whole team.
Yeah, look, it's what he's saying is something we all know.
Yeah.
If you have a really, 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 really good quarterback, you have a really, really, really good chance of winning a lot of games. Yeah. And he's right. And that's all it is. They're a top 5 pick right now amongst most educated football fans to go back and maybe win their first ever Super Bowl. But what he's saying is something we all know. We got a healthy, studded quarterback, and because we have him, not to mention, obviously, a guy like Jamar Chase and other weapons to throw the ball to, Higgins as well. They're a good football team.
If he grew up a Cincinnati Bengals fan, then he's been through the pain and anguish that they had for probably about 20 years.
Yeah.
And now that he's playing for him, and Joe Burrow has been, stellar. And he's exceeded all expectations. When he coming out of college, and he was the best quarterback in college for a season.
Yep.
And now he's doing the exact same, playing professional football.
Think about this. In his short career, Joe Burrow has more playoff wins than every other Cincinnati Bengal quarterback. That includes the great Kenny Anderson. It includes Mr. Play-Action Pass Boomer Esiason. Mm-hmm. It includes Andy Dalton. It includes all of them. He's got more playoff wins. Carson Palmer. He's got more than all of them. And that says a lot about how bad the Bengal team has been. Mm-hmm. Franchise has been under Mike Brown and the Brown family. But they got a good one now. So you grab him, you hold on to him, you give him absurd amounts of money, and you hope that he gets you back there.
He's not going anywhere. He's going to be a lifer.
Yes, no doubt about it. He's also going to make about $400 or $500 million.
Maybe.
I'm not sure why that's up there.
Yeah.
It looks like that's.
Yeah. Put it up on the board again.
Are we actually doing a Plaxico Burress list?
Let's go.
Not right now. We're not.
What you talking about?
Go ahead. Take it away.
My top 5 quarterback list, which I stated a few weeks ago, stands as I had Jalen Hurts at 5.
Okay.
I had
let's just make this fourth in football. I don't care. It's all good.
4.
Hang on a sec. Let the guys catch up to you.
Okay.
Plaxico Burress, Mr. I Want 2 Cheesesteaks, has now decided to create his own top 5 list. This is the Plaxico Burress.
And it's very accurate.
Top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL today. Plax, take it away. Who's number 5?
All right. At number 5, I started off with Jalen Hurts.
Okay, who's pretty much Tyrod Taylor.
Right.
In a green jersey.
He was a pass interference away.
That's right.
From going through Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
You got Josh Allen.
Bills, of course, they're going the wrong way. Go ahead.
And you got Justin Herbert.
Never won a playoff game, sure.
Well, he's on the rise.
Uh-huh.
You got Joe Burrow at 2.
Okay.
He's on the brink of taking the Cincinnati Bengals back to the Super Bowl since 1988, I believe.
Go ahead.
And the GOAT, the current GOAT, Patrick Mahomes.
That's an interesting list you have there.
Very. But you do notice one thing about this list.
Go ahead. Yeah.
That Aaron Rodgers is not on.
Which is crazy. I mean, it's crazy. NFL execs, coaches, scouts, and players ranked their top 4 quarterbacks, and they had the same 1, 2, and 3 as you. Other than Josh Allen's 3, not
because
Herbert.
They're smart people.
And Aaron Rodgers for them is number 4.
Okay.
This is again, Plaxico Burress hates the New York Jets.
I don't hate the New York Jets.
He hates the New York Jets.
I'm just going off of what I see.
Plax thought he was going to win another Super Bowl with the Jets, and we let him down. So every chance he gets, he takes a shot at the Jets.
Aaron Rodgers went 8-9 last year.
He had a broken thumb.
I don't care what he had. I'm going with my list, and that's it.
All right, well, there you go. That's the Plaxico Burress top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. Patty Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. By the way, Jalen Hurts, we did some research on this. Jalen Hurts' numbers are exactly the same as Tyrod Taylor's first 3 years of their careers. Yeah, really.
Come on,
really?
Man. But it's about the impact that you have on the team and the offense.
Meanwhile, talking about impact.
I love Tyrod Taylor. He's retired. I love Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, great quarterback.
Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Tyrod.
Well, we'll give you those numbers a little bit later on in the show. Plus, as we get ready to get back into mid-show headlines, Saquon Barkley does not get a deal done. Who do you blame, the Giants or Saquon? And are the Giants trading a chance to win a Super Bowl out of principle because they've devalued the importance of an all-world running back? We'll get into that right after this. Cody.
Welcome back to the Carton Show on FS1. Time for your mid-show headlines. And headline number one, Saquon Barkley and the Giants unable to agree on a contract extension.
That's not the headline, Cody. The headline is that the New York Giants just got eliminated from Super Bowl contention. Yeah, I mean, nickel and diamond, your best player, over a couple $1 million. Just doesn't make sense to me. And I know the lines have been drawn. A lot of people say the Giants did the right thing. After all, he's missed 22 out of 80 some odd games that he could have played with the knee injury. I know a lot of people blame Saquon and back and forth. But at the end of the day, this does not make the New York Giants a better football team.
It does not.
And you can yell and scream about money. You can be an anti-player guy and go, hey, suck it up, man. How could you not say yes to $22 million? You're not an NFL player. You get only a couple cracks at making the big money. And what I'm trying to figure out, if all the reports are right, if what I was told a week ago was right, that they were only a couple $1 million apart, boy, this is a tough hill to die on if you're Joe Shane and the New York Giants.
I can't believe that a deal would go down the drain of over a couple $1 million.
Yep.
So there's something more to this story than I believe that's being reported. I just can't see it.
I'll tell you what it is. I'm guessing, Plax, but here, he missed a bunch of games because of the knee injury.
It doesn't matter. That was 3 years ago.
But what they're saying is you had a great year last year, 1,300 rushing yards, plus what you did receiving. Do it again.
I would like to see, basically, I would like to see how many games Saquon Barkley missed versus to Christian McCaffrey. Because they basically give out the same production at the same position. And Saquon clearly had a better year than he had last year. I don't see how you cannot put him at 1A or 1B as being one of the best running backs in all of football, compensate him and move on, and just give him a long-term deal.
Now, a couple aspects of this. Here's what Saquon is risking, okay? You know, if you assume they would franchise him again next year because it's their right to do it, next year he'd make $12 million or so. So the combined 2 years would have been $22 million, but none of it guaranteed. The New York Giants did offer him $22 to $23 million, fully guaranteed to get the deal done. So to be fair, from a Giants perspective, look, we're going to franchise you again. And if you get hurt this year, you're not getting any money next year. We're willing to guarantee you the 2 years at the minimum that you would make if we franchised you both years. The risk that Saquon's taking, A, does he have the same kind of years he had last year? We assume he will. He's a great talent. And B, does he stay healthy? If either of those two things does not happen, he's not getting $12 million next year. That's the risk he's taking. He's taking a minimum $12 million risk by not accepting what the Giants offer.
He knows what he's risking. And this is what I don't like about the franchise tag, because the player does not have any say-so.
No leverage at all.
If the Giants don't want to give him a long-term deal, then give him a non-exclusive franchise tag and let a team come in and make him an offer, and then you have the opportunity to match the offer. The franchise tags limits the player because he has no say-so in his career, and he can request a trade all he wants. But the team still holds the rights to the player.
Correct.
And you can't even making the decisions about your own career and where you want to go and where you want to be. And that's the unfortunate part about the franchise tag, is that they got you, and
let's be honest,
they can keep you for cheap. They don't want to pay you what you're worth, and you can't go anywhere.
And here's the other thing. The franchise tag is used so teams can do that to guys that are amongst their best players. You're not going to franchise an average player. You're going to franchise one of your best players because, in theory, something like this happens. You get, I think, their best player for cheap, right?
I mean, it pays off for some guys.
Yeah.
Look at Tony Pollard.
Yep.
Some teams don't want to give guys long-term deals because they aren't worth the money, but they issue them a franchise tag just so they can keep them.
Now,
so some players it does benefit.
Here's an interesting little wrinkle to this. I don't think it's going to happen, but as I like to say, we like to play chess. Everybody else is playing checkers. The New York Giants have the right. It's the Josh Norman deal, where they can rescind right now today if they want, or at any point when the season starts, they can rescind the franchise tag and let him go.
Makes no sense.
Makes him an unrestricted free agent and go sign Dalvin Cook for half as much money. I don't think they do that, but that's now on the table. So it'll be interesting to see what Saquon does, not today or tomorrow, but throughout training camp and as we get close to game 1 against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday, September 10th. And what the Giants do in the meantime, because when they show up next week, every question's about Saquon Barkley.
Makes no sense. Why would you want to get rid of a guy and get nothing for him? That makes absolutely no sense.
Right. Well, why not pay the guy that's the engine that runs your entire offense? Right. Like if you think Daniel Jones was an average quarterback at best before last year, watch Daniel Jones without Saquon Barkley. That being said, there's a flip side to the coin, and that is the Giants are merely playing the game by the rules that the players agreed to. They know the guy missed a year and a half of football. He had a great year.
Why do you keep bringing it up? That doesn't matter.
Because I think that's part of their thinking.
No, it doesn't matter.
Hey, give it to me again, and then we'll talk about big money.
They want to give him what he wants. That's all it boils down to. They don't want to give him what he wants.
Yeah, well, it's a question out of whether they think he's worth it, I guess.
He is worth. He's worth every penny.
I agree with you. They don't agree with you. And they're the ones that are writing the check. So maybe we call up John Mara and say, Mr. Mara, why don't you like Saquon Barkley? But I'll tell you this. Here's what happened yesterday. Whether you agree with the Saquon side, whether you agree with the Giants side, it don't matter. The New York Giants have now eliminated themselves from Super Bowl conversations. They're out.
Well, I don't think
can't win the division, can't have a home playoff game, can't make the Super Bowl. Your best offensive player is currently not a part of the team.
Headline number 2, Josh Jacobs and the Raiders also unable to agree on a long-term extension. That's right. Jacobs led the NFL in all-purpose yards last season with 2,053. And Jacobs on Twitter yesterday retweeted all the players were supporting running backs not getting deals. So, Craig, my question for you is...
Well, hold on. I got to interrupt you on that.
Yeah.
Because I'm glad you said that. Running backs are coming out saying that this is criminal, that Jacobs didn't get a deal, that Saquon didn't get a deal. You'll notice that there's one particular guy that, to my knowledge, did not tweet anything out. But first, let me show you what Derrick Henry tweeted. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody hates running backs. Blah, blah, blah. I'm with you guys. I take it off the screen. I don't want to see McCaffrey either. I don't want to see guys that have gotten paid talk about how bad they feel for guys who haven't gotten paid yet.
But he's supposed to be supportive of his team.
Unless the Christian McCaffrey got paid. It's their brother. So it doesn't matter what he says. Here's what matters to me. There's only one guy that matters to me right now in regards specifically to Saquon, because the Raiders have a new quarterback in Jimmy G, who may not even play for them this year. Who knows, right? Where's Daniel Jones? Where's the New York Giants quarterback who's been working out with Saquon this offseason? We've seen the videos. I wonder why Daniel Jones hasn't tweeted anything out that I've seen. Because Daniel Jones very easily could have gone to the Giants and said, it's me and Saquon. It's me and Saquon.
No.
And while he was demanding $41 million a year guaranteed over the next 2 years and got it, where was Daniel Jones in all this? Maybe taking a couple ducats less to make sure Saquon Barkley could be re-signed and do it like a team. That's what I would do.
I don't think Daniel Jones is that kind of guy.
Exactly
I don't know him personally. He's only been in the league for a few years. But where he was down in the office getting this deal done with his agent.
That's right.
While Saquon was on the same floor trying to get his deal done.
Correct.
And it didn't happen. And the New York Giants made their decision on who they wanted to invest their money in.
Where is Daniel Jones while everybody else is coming out supporting Saquon Barkley and the other running backs? The guy that stole got $82 million guaranteed over the next 2 years is keeping his mouth tight. He ain't saying nothing. And here's the deal. If Daniel Jones said, you know what, $41 million is great, but so is 38, I can live off $76 million guaranteed, you could have gotten them both signed, but Daniel Jones didn't do it. And Saquon not getting signed is a referendum on Daniel Jones. It's on him.
Well, you did also mention, we just mentioned Dalvin Cook. With him mentioning that he would sign for $5 million, does that reset the market to these teams?
No, because these guys are locked in at 10 because they franchise them. So the fact that Dalvin Cook's an unrestricted free agent and allegedly will sign for $5 or $6 million, that's on him, But these guys are locked in to get 10. Which is why they've got no choice. Also, they're going to take the 10.
Would you take less to stay on the show?
Would I take less?
Yeah.
Does it keep you guys on the show?
I'm asking you a question.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. I would take a very small percentage less if it meant that you guys get to keep coming back.
How small?
Yes. Very small. Yes.
Headline number 3. We are 24 hours away from the New York Jets training camp. First 4 practices open to fans that sold out in 3 minutes yesterday. So my question for you, Craig, how many strokes is Robert Saleh going to beat you by today on the golf course?
Robert Saleh can't beat me in golf.
Yes, he can.
And I'm playing golf with Robert Saleh later today, and he knows he can't beat me at golf. I know he can't beat me at golf. Everyone knows he can't. He even texted me, he goes, everyone keeps telling me how great a golfer you are. If I had $1 for every person that told me that, I could buy the Jets. He knows he's going to lose, but it's going to be fun. I don't compete at golf because it's not fair.
Y'all should make a little bet and say whoever loses has to get a haircut.
Yeah, very good. Two ball guys, I got you. It's all good.
How that works out.
But I'm going to get all the insight on the New York Jets in what's going to be a 6-hour round of golf.
He's not going to tell you. He's not going to tell you anything.
Then why am I golfing with him? To be his friend?
He's not going to say a word.
I got enough friends.
No, he wants to be friends with you.
Yes, he does.
Which is really weird. It's his last day of freedom, and he's choosing to golf with you.
That's right. That's how special and important I am. And by the way, to be fair, I asked Plax to come with me today.
No.
He's busy. All right. I asked Nick Mangold to come with me today. He's down in Delaware on the beach. I asked Victor Cruz to golf with us today. He's on a plane going somewhere.
He's in Liverpool playing golf at the Open.
So, Cody Decker's playing golf today.
I really don't want to play anymore. All of a sudden, don't know why.
Fourth man up.
That's it. That's it, but it's a free round of golf.
It is. I'm very excited to beat you today.
Yeah.
And Robert Saleh for that. All right, headline number 4. Shohei Ohtani does it again. He leads Major League Baseball with 35 home runs last night with a clutch 2-run home run against the Yankees, a team that might be in the market to trade.
So let me ask you a quick question, Cody.
Yes.
Just to set the stage, the Angels are down 2.
They are.
They got a man on first, and Ohtani's coming up. Guy batting behind Ohtani is a young kid batting like 350 or something, right?
Great, 125.
The big talk now is, do you walk Ohtani in that spot and put the time run on first base? Because even though the kid behind him is batting 300 or whatever, he's not as much of a home run threat as Ohtani obviously is. Now, we know what happened, so it's easy to second guess it now. But do you think that's a fair question to ask Aaron Boone?
I think it's a very fair question because he walked him the previous at-bat and the next at-bat. So if that's the case, why didn't you walk him in this at-bat? Quite frankly, if Mike Trout's not behind him, walk Ohtani. There's no reason to pitch to him if the game's especially.
So you've no problem because that's the rub, right? You don't want to put the tying run on base, even though there's 2 outs.
Even though there's 2 outs, I don't care. I don't want to face Shohei Ohtani in this situation.
Got it. So 5th inning they walked him.
Apparently in the 9th
inning,
they didn't walk him, but in the 7th inning
he struck him out of the 9th.
Struck him out of the 9th.
Got it. Because listen, it's always easy after the fact to say, "Oh, you should have walked him."
Walked him twice already.
So in any event,
and the most fascinating thing about the Angels is that we're not even talking about Mike Trout anymore.
No, we're not, and haven't for a couple of years now.
We haven't.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Angels win that game 4-3. So the Yankees have now lost 2 out of 3 to the worst team in the National League, the Rockies, and they start this series off by losing to the Angels, who had lost 11 out of 12 or 13, I think, prior to this game, and that's why they're in town. You know they got to trade the guy. You got to get him.
Yes.
If the Yankees leave Anaheim and Ohtani's not on the plane, then Brian Cashman has failed all Yankee fans.
Whoa.
Is that fair to say?
No, it's not. Not even remotely.
He's not going to be on a plane leaving Anaheim.
By the way, can you show me the guy that had the game-winning hit there in the 10th inning? That guy looks a lot like Cody Decker.
What?
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, wow. That is kind of similar, isn't it?
Look at that.
That's a good-looking man.
What's the guy's name?
It doesn't matter. He's a good-looking man.
Michael Stefanik.
Well, listen,
looks like Cody Decker.
Well, listen, I said a lot of things in my life, but I've never said another man looked good.
Oh, well, have you seen this man? He looks quite good. Good-looking guy. Well done, you. And the walk-up.
And I guess he was a long-time minor leaguer as well.
Yes,
they're telling me in my ear.
Yep.
So congratulations to him. Ohtani's got 35 home runs now. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yes.
I know he's on a similar kind of trajectory that Judge was last year when he hit 62.
Almost identical.
Do you think Ohtani, if he stays with the Angels, because who knows where he's going to go, do you think he gets to 60?
No, I do not. I do not,
because
it's only happened 3 times in the American League ever, so I can't imagine.
If you put him on the Yankees and Judge comes back, is he more likely to hit 60?
He is.
There you go.
Because he's surrounded by Judge, he's surrounded by Rizzo, who might get it back together, and he's surrounded by Giancarlo Stanton. You got to pitch to one of these guys.
That would be a pretty tough group to face if they're all healthy, huh?
Yes.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Rizzo, Stanton, Judge, Ohtani.
Good Lord.
Murderer's row right there.
I would say one of the reasons why I don't think he's going to get the 60s too, because teams are going to have to start walking him.
Yeah, they don't walk him the way they walked Bonds all those times.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
I'll never forget, and we talked about this before, that I watched the game once, and Barry Bonds got up with the bases loaded, and Buck Showalter intentionally walked him.
And it worked.
Get one instead of 4.
Exactly right. All right, listen, coming up, more on the deal with Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs. And the big question for you, Dallas Cowboy fans, are you buying what Dak Prescott is selling, which is that this year, the max interceptions, 10. He will not throw 10 or more interceptions this year. Or are you ready to move on? We'll answer that question for all Cowboy fans right after this. This just in, Dak Prescott says, listen, you can talk all you want about Saquon Barkley, talk all you want about Josh Jacobs, but I want you to talk about me, because guess what I'm not going to do this year? I'm not going to lead the league in interceptions. Matter of fact, I know who I am. I won't even have 10 interceptions this year. Well, I tell you what, I appreciate the confidence in someone's own ability. But you did lead the league last year, and you didn't play in 5 games. And what he's saying, that's a Cowboy fan's, best dream scenario right there, because let's just play it out both sides, as funny as that quote might be, because it's inaccurate, not going to happen. If he threw single-digit interceptions this year, the Cowboys might go to an NFC Championship game.
Wow.
If he does what he normally does, and he throws the ball all over the yard, they're going to do what they always do and disappoint their fan base.
He would probably throw 3 interceptions on opening night
against the Giants.
And you know one thing about this statement is that everybody's going to be keeping count.
Yes, because
and so will he. Yep. He'll get to number 9, probably by week 9.
Right.
And he'll be like, well, I guess I'm going to throw more than 10. And everybody's going to be keeping count.
That quote is going to be hung on his locker for sure, and you're right. Especially
he'll definitely throw one on opening night.
All right, so
I
there
guarantee you that.
So he's got 16 games, so he can only throw 9 more.
Right.
Well, he's only thrown 11 or less in 5 of his 6 first seasons. I mean, why is this so crazy that this might take
Because he threw 15 and 12
last
games.
year, it might be an outlier of a year. It's just one bad year.
Are you a Dallas fan?
No, I am not.
Oh, okay. That sounds like
Here's the problem, because don't forget, last year, Jerry Jones came out and said throwing interceptions is not in his DNA.
That was a bad quote.
And then he led the league in interceptions, and his plaque just said he didn't play a whole season.
First of all, Jerry Jones, over the last 20 years, it's been in all his quarterbacks' DNA.
Yeah, that's correct.
All they do is throw interceptions.
Look, here's the deal. Dak Prescott needs to have a great year. If he doesn't, it's going to be the same old for the Cowboys. And haven't we seen enough of Dak Prescott to at least predict that he's going to have double-digit interceptions this year? It's what he does. Now, if somehow, some way, Mike McCarthy calling plays takes the interception game off the table, I'll believe it when I see it.
Run the football 50 times a game?
Right, with the guy who's only playing on a franchise tag, who's not very happy.
Hey, I will say this.
Yes.
All the interceptions that happen aren't the quarterback's fault.
Yes.
I've had a couple bounce off my hands.
Matter of fact, I think we have video of one, too. Here's Plaxico Burress. Catch the ball.
Oh, that ball was behind me. That ball was behind me, and that is unnecessary roughness of me getting hit in the back. They didn't call it.
To be fair,
that
you
ball
did
was behind.
Drop the ball and you got hit from behind.
Samari, why you do me like that? Oh, man, Samari.
Yeah, boom and boom.
Oh, man, that is a cheap shot.
That was
my
a
old
cheap
friend.
It's a classic rinse.
I called that guy a friend until today.
Classic rinse.
Well, here's what's funny. That's the only video we could find of Plaxico Burress dropping a ball.
That's
that became
that's
INT.
the only one I remember.
Do you remember getting cheap shot from behind?
I don't. I do not.
Now you remember.
I called that guy a friend until now.
Yeah, that's it. No more coming over to see the kids, huh?
That's me.
Anyhow, no, you're right. Listen, it's not, interceptions are interesting stats because they're not always accurate. You could hit a guy in the numbers, the ball bounces up, it gets picked off. After the game, you go, the quarterback had an interception. In reality, the receiver had. They call them rinse.
Mm-hmm. No, right? You made that up. I've never heard of that term until today.
Did you ever play football?
What is a rinse?
A rinse.
No.
Rinse.
No.
Yeah. What is a rinse, by the way?
No, I've never heard of that.
Interception.
Until today. So Dak Prescott will throw 10 interceptions this year, and 3 of them will be rinses, and I guess it doesn't count because the 3 of them wasn't his fault.
That's right.
Flax, it's what we call advanced analytics is what it is.
No.
There's rinse, and then there's Kints.
Yes.
Kints are quarterback interceptions.
That is not football analogy.
No, it is.
I've never even heard this before.
Maybe at Michigan State they didn't tell you about that.
You made this up.
I mean, there's a chance I made it up, but
I've never heard of it until today.
I was a Pro Football Focus. They list rinse and Kints.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
They should.
Now, Dak Prescott has been victimized by a lot of rinse.
Okay. Can you ask Robert Sala today what rinse and Kints mean?
I'll do it on video.
He's never heard of it.
I'll do it on video.
Yeah, he's never heard
in
of
between
it.
the third and fourth holes.
Okay, not unless he's watching the show, which he probably is because he wants to be a friend. But I can almost guarantee you he's never heard of what a rinse and a Kint is.
I asked Victor Cruz. He's very familiar with rinse and Kints. Yes. Yeah.
Well, he probably had more than me.
He did.
But yeah.
Actually, Victor Cruz is the all-time single-season leader in rinse. Wow. That's true. Receiver-driven interceptions. That's correct.
You actually did the research?
My guys did. I just show up and look pretty. I don't do any of the research.
Man.
In any event,
it's not a word.
I guess we can answer the question: is Dak still the answer in Dallas? Well, you got no other choices. So for this year, and he's signed next year also, and is untradeable. Yes, he's the answer in Dallas. He is a good quarterback, but for a lot of people, he's underappreciated. Which brings us to a top 6 list there, Plax. We've got the top 6 most underappreciated players in the NFL, regardless of position, okay?
Okay. I like this.
Here we go. All right. See if you guys agree with this list or not. Number 6, the backup quarterback for the New York Giants, Tyrod Taylor.
Okay.
Tyrod Taylor, underappreciated, never really got his shot because he got stabbed in the lung when he was out there in L.A. with the Chargers. Mm-hmm. If you look at his stats, first 3 years in the league, and compare them to Jalen Hurts, which is a fair comparison because it's the same number of games, people talk about Jalen Hurts being a generational talent. Tyrod Taylor was just as good. Just as good, and even threw more touchdown passes and fewer interceptions. He did not lead a team to a Super Bowl, but his numbers are damn near identical.
And not to mention, he did play for the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Bingo.
And
so let's give Tyrod Taylor some love.
Let's give him his flowers.
Totally under
Tyrod Taylor, let's go.
Woo! Let's give him his flowers. Boy, and I'll tell you what. He's better than Daniel Jones.
Hey, Daniel Jones goes down, and Tyrod Taylor comes in and makes some magic.
Tell you what, Daniel Jones goes down, that's the best way to get Saquon Barkley back on the field. All right, number 5, the aforementioned Saquon Barkley, being totally underappreciated by the Giants. They have bought into the reality that, in their mind, having Daniel Jones under contract is more important than having Saquon Barkley. That's a decision they made, and they got to live with it now.
I think he's higher than number 5.
Okay, but he's on the list, Plax.
Right, he is.
All right. Once I get the list out there, you want to reorder it, feel free, man.
Oh, my
But I
God.
don't think you're going to disagree with any of the list. All right, ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Number 4. This is going to surprise you people, especially you people down in South Florida. And I'm guilty of this as well. Yeah. The most underappreciated guy in the league, number 4, is Tua Tagovailoa. All right?
What was that? Who was that? One more time.
I have a tough time saying it.
Tua
Tagovailoa. Right?
Nailed it.
Did I get it right that time?
Not even close.
Tua Tagovailoa.
That was closer.
That was better, right?
That was better.
You say it.
Tagovailoa.
Yeah, you okay.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Tagovailoa.
That's Taga what?
Tagovailoa.
I don't think that goes.
That's it.
I think that's a dish you make in culinary school.
That was definitely
International.
Anyhow, Tua is an underappreciated guy, and I'm guilty of it as well. Because he's got such a weak arm, I don't appreciate the fact that his underthrowing guys on most passes more than 20 yards down the field has turned out to be a secret weapon for the Miami Dolphins. And here's what's so funny. I got all you people that love the Dolphins yelling and screaming at me. Yeah, you look at the stats, the next-gen stats. Yeah, he's the most accurate deep ball passer in football. When you underthrow your wide receivers by 20 yards and they come back and catch the ball, you should not get credit for it.
I just don't understand what makes him underappreciated.
Well, they're underappreciated because most of us that are in the know view him as an average at best quarterback, but Dolphin fans think he's the second coming. So there you go.
This is your list of underappreciated guys, right?
I don't appreciate him. Maybe I should appreciate him some more. Yeah.
You should.
How can you talk about a guy and then put him on your list as being underappreciated?
Because I'm showing you that I'm willing to listen as well.
This is the most backhanded compliment I've ever seen.
When did you start listening?
This morning.
This guy's underappreciated. That being said, he can't throw a football.
Listen, he's got the weakest arm of any starting quarterback in the history of football.
He doesn't. The history?
In the history of football. Dating all the way back to Branch Rickey. You can go as far back as you want. He has the weakest arm of any starting quarterback.
Was that the owner for the Yankees?
Frank Gifford had a better arm than he did, okay?
Frank Gifford.
Yeah.
And Branch Rickey.
He played back in the day.
When he played quarterback for the Brooklyn Dodgers.
You get the point. I'm trying to be nice to South Florida so that I'm welcome back there.
Oh, it's working.
All right, number 3, top 6 most underappreciated players in the NFL. My guy, Kirk Cousins. Oh, he can't win prime time. You can't trust him to lead a team. Dude puts up numbers, they make the playoffs, and he made Justin Jefferson the best receiver in football.
You've talked so badly about Kirk Cousins that I can't even believe that you said that he's underappreciated.
He is totally underappreciated. Very good quarterback.
You said he's allergic to lights.
Well, I mean, he has a disease. That's not my fault. He's got primetime fasciitis. Yep. It's a weird disease that few quarterbacks have. He's just one of them.
I just don't understand how you can put him on that list and you say he's not the guy.
Well, I mean, he's never going to win a Super Bowl.
And you actually called him overrated and overpaid. So how can you put him on a list as being underappreciated?
Because people talk about him like he's a horrendous quarterback.
And you have done exactly that.
Yes. This is your list. I'm showing growth. I mean, allow me to grow on the show, would you please?
Man.
In any event, number 2 on my very popular list right now is of Las Vegas Raiders running back Josh Jacobs.
Yes.
Led the league in yards from scrimmage.
Yes.
He's Mr. Everything. They don't value him for some reason. And I really feel bad, and here's why. Like, it's hard to feel bad for guys that make millions of dollars, but just think about how desperate and sad and pathetic this is. While his agents were trying to negotiate a multi-year extension with Vegas, he was sitting in a car with Max Crosby across the street from the Raiders facility, hoping, like a fat girl with pimple in high school, hoping that she gets invited to the prom, that the Raiders were going to call him and say, good news, we have an agreement, come on over and sign it. And he sat in the car with Max Crosby, and when the clock hit 4 o'clock Eastern, his agent called and said, no deal, sorry.
Hey,
that's sad and pathetic, and I feel for him.
I have to agree with you on this, which doesn't happen very often. But that's probably the smartest thing you said all day.
There you go. And, for everyone that thought the deal wasn't close, it apparently was so close, his agent said, I think we're going to get it done. He got in the car with Max Crosby.
Just because your agent says the deal is going to get done, you don't get in your car and call Max Crosby and say, let's go sit in the parking lot. Who does that?
I feel bad.
Hey, Max, you home?
I'm going to pick you up at 5.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you want to sit in a parking lot?
Yeah. You know, it'd be funny if the sphere was overlooking him.
The big guy in the sky don't lie.
In the car. And number one, I don't think this can be disputed. I'm going to end with a flourish here. The most underappreciated player in the NFL is Aaron Rodgers. You got to say Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, that's Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Watch this in slow motion, Plex. Look at that.
Craig, this show has been
Nobody plays football with a smile on their face.
No?
Craig, this entire show is an appreciation project to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah?
How is he underappreciated?
I feel like coast to coast, he's underappreciated. There's a lot of people out there not picking the Jets to win the Super Bowl.
They are saying he's going to win a Super Bowl.
I'm saying he's going to win
and
the Super Bowl.
And you're saying he's the savior of your favorite team.
Yeah, but that's just me.
So how can he be underappreciated?
Because I'm the only one saying it.
You didn't even want him on your team. You
I wanted
Derek Carr.
Yeah, I wanted Derek Carr originally, but I'm happy with what I wound up with. It's okay. I'm good.
So why did Derek Carr make your list?
Huh?
Why didn't Derek Carr make your list?
Because he's playing for somebody else.
Unbelievable.
You know, but here's what's funny. Everyone's like, oh, the New Orleans Saints are going to win their division. They got Derek Carr.
I never said that.
But there's a lot of people saying the Jets are not even going to win the East.
They are not.
So he's underappreciated.
He's not underappreciated.
You're the reason I have him on that list.
The 6th ranked quarterback on my list. But he's not underappreciated.
6? You only put out a top 5.
No, it's top 10. He's 6. He doesn't make my list. Top 5.
Well, listen, that's another thing I want to add to my list of things to tell the head coach of the Jets in golf today.
Tell him.
Is that Plaxico Burress doesn't think you have a top 5 quarterback.
You can tell him everything. Tell him everything we said today.
I am. Oh, I got a lot. I may not even play golf.
I'm not afraid of him.
Huh? You shouldn't be afraid of anybody. Look at it.
Look at this. Look at
this. And by the way, you know full well I'm driving that car too.
They're on the Sweet Pickles bus. Look at them.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm ever going to have the most hair on a golf course. This is going to be sweet. I'm pretty fired
There you go. I just hope we're not walking 18 holes today because it is going to be hot in New Jersey throughout the day. And I do not sweat well on a golf course.
You don't sweat
I can
well
tell you
anywhere.
that. No. Meanwhile, coming up, the latest football has to do with Jalen Hurts and whether or not last year was just a fluke. First in Football is next on FS1. All right, welcome back. Dan, our intern, said we should do a football segment, so we're going to do First in Football right now. And we start off where you used to play, Plaxico Burress. That, of course, is Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett, George Pickens. Everybody's in love with the young wide receiver. Here's Kenny Pickett talking about George. He could be a top guy in the league, no doubt. Probably 3 catches in practice that stick out for me that are better than the one that he had that everybody saw in the season. Look. Here's, I think we can show it to you, right? This is the Pickett catch he's talking about. Reminds me a lot about a younger me. That is a catch right there against the Cleveland Browns. And here's the deal. Pickett is one of the good, solid, emerging young wide receiver talents in the league, no doubt.
Man, listen, he's a great young talent. After his rookie campaign, you would expect him to ascend as a player. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have always done a good job in drafting wide receivers.
Yeah.
And I came in the league in 2000, and Kevin Colbert was the new GM. You look at the guys he's bought: Antonio Brown, Mike Wallace, Emmanuel Sanders, Juju, and Deontay Johnson. The Pittsburgh Steelers have drafted a wide receiver in every year since 2000.
Yeah, and by the way, as you said, yourself included, I know you're being modest here, you're talking about some great wide receivers, Super Bowl, Pro Bowls, the whole bit.
Yeah.
They have an eye for wide receivers. And look, Kenny Pickett knows my success is going to be based on the fact that I got the young stud out there because he makes my job easier. Because if I throw a ball up, very similar to the way, like, kind of what Jalen Hurts has in Philadelphia. Yeah. I know I got guys who can go get it, and you did that too.
And look at where they find these guys at: 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th round. So they know exactly what they're doing.
I tell you, they keep doing that. We're going to start devaluing wide receivers the way we're devaluing running backs.
I might have to go sign back up.
Yeah, you got it. Except that you don't run so good anymore.
Yeah, no.
By the way, and everybody, you're talking about Saquon Barkley, that's my reference there, to devaluing your positions. I was just thinking real quick, if I may just go off on a tangent for a second. I'm blaming Daniel Jones for not taking a little bit less money, making sure that Saquon can get signed. There is another guy out there right now that we could blame for Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, and Tony Pollard not getting multi-year deals. And the guy, if you want to blame somebody not named Daniel Jones, I would blame Isaiah Pacheco. Oh. Isaiah Pacheco, a 7th-round pick out of Rutgers, just won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs, proving literally that you can get a running back anywhere.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why.
It's your fault, Isaiah Pacheco.
But it's not his fault.
Look at Isaiah Pacheco. It's
not his fault.
It's your fault, Isaiah Pacheco.
It is not.
Definitely not.
You should apologize to Saquon Barkley.
It is not your fault. Stop it.
Isaiah Pacheco.
No.
You didn't. You played too good. 7th-round pick out of the hotbed of football. Rutgers. Known as Rutgers. Like, what are we talking about?
Power 5. Yes.
What a game.
All right, anyhow, second in football. It's rare for me to do a football segment not mention the Jets. Weird.
Weird.
Nathaniel Hackett says Aaron Rodgers is his daddy. And not just that, but the fact that he likes to call plays at the line of scrimmage and audibilize like the great quarterbacks, it's something he takes great pride in. It's something that we love to see because it takes all the pressure off me being a bad play caller.
It does?
Yeah.
That is accurate.
Yeah,
that is correct.
I call a bad play. I know I got a guy that's going to make a better call.
Yeah, that is correct. Russell Wilson wasn't doing that.
No, no, he was not. Not at all last year. Let me ask you a quick question, Plax. There's a Reddit debate right now about quarterbacks wearing the play calls on their wrist.
Right.
There's some guys who feel like it's come on, man. You should know the plays. You're the quarterback. Other guys have no problem with it. What's your
That
take?
is not the reason why they wear the wristband.
Yeah.
The main reason why they wear the wristband is that the plays have numbers beside them.
Okay.
And when the time clock is running down, the offensive coordinator doesn't have time to give the quarterback the verbiage of what the play is. So the offensive coordinator will call into the quarterback and say, play 18, play 17, and he'll look at it and know what the play is instead of him actually telling the quarterback what the play is when the time clock
and give people an example again. I like to do this from time to time.
That's why.
What does a normal play sound like? If you're calling a play, just give me the verbiage.
The play goes 0 on 238 max bastard X post Z comeback A snow Daytona alert 40 draw.
Or just say 18.
Right.
Yeah, makes all sense in the world.
You're in a huddle like this. You're like.
Huh? Did he say Daytona Max Bastard?
Yeah.
Or Max Bastard Daytona?
Yeah.
And I know what Plax said.
That's how play goes.
I know what Plax said. As Plax went out to the side for man-on-man coverage, he said, "Yo, Eli, just throw it up."
So, but the worst part about it is when he gets to the line of scrimmage, he goes alert 40, and you're like, it's the draw.
You get to take a play off.
Yeah.
That's all. I have to ask you this. What was the play call in the huddle on the Super Bowl game-winning catch? You remember it?
I think it was 62 Union X fade.
You're the X fade. There you go. In other words, we got man-to-man coverage. I'm going to throw it up. Just go get it.
Right.
Right?
We were trying to put me in a single cover situation.
And it was the only play that game that they covered you man-to-man.
Twice. Second time. Yeah.
There you go. Anyhow, I have third in football for you right now. It's Jets related again. I don't know how that happened. But here's the deal. We all love the Hard Knocks show. The Jets obviously got picked by the NFL to be on it. But the Jets are now kind of take all the fun out of it. And that is they're limiting camera access. One of the things they are not going to allow cameras to catch. And we figured out why. Joe Douglas, the general manager of the Jets, way back in his career when he was employed by the Jacksonville Jaguars, was the guy they referred to in NFL circles, you know this, as the Turk. Ooh. And on cutdown day, the guy named the Turk, who's usually a guy with very little responsibility, is the guy that's given the task, unfortunately, of telling guys, I need your playbook, we're letting you go. And Joe Douglas was that guy. So the Jets said yesterday, we are not going to let the cameras into the room when we crush guys' dreams and tell them that they're being cut, a week or two before the season starts when they're that close to making it. And that comes from Joe Douglas having empathy for the fact that he had to be the guy years ago that delivered that bad news.
I mean, it is respectful. I mean, those guys are going through a private, intimate situation of not making a football team and
it sucks.
and losing a job on national television. So kudos to the Jets for doing something right.
There you go.
And not broadcasting a guy getting fired in front of everybody.
Yeah,
but they used to do it different back in my day.
How'd they do it for you?
You would pull up in the parking lot and it would be somebody standing outside the door.
Oh, come on. They didn't let you in the building?
They didn't let you in the building. Or they would just tap you on your shoulder and be like,
sorry, buddy.
And every day you just hope it wasn't you.
Right. Well, you knew it wasn't going to be you.
I knew it wasn't going to be
you.
You
never had that threat.
I had my playbook. I walked by. Some guys weren't that fortunate.
I can see you yelling across the parking lot, "Yo, Billy, I'm so sorry. We'll have lunch tomorrow."
Oh, man. They never made it into the building.
That's the worst. There used to be, I know when I covered the Eagles years and years ago in the mid-'90s, they had this guy. They all called him the Turk. And this guy he could be like a low-level guy that wasn't even a coach. Yeah. He was just on the coaching staff. He could have been like an administrative assistant. And it's usually a younger guy, or they went with a much older guy. Right. And you'd go up to a guy in the locker room and be like, "Hey, Billy, I need your playbook." Yeah. And it was the worst thing a guy could ever experience. And they did it in front of other people.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't even private.
And what was even more brutal, when I was playing, we had 2 days. So you would actually go to the morning practice and then go to lunch and get into the meeting room or get to the afternoon practice, and you'd be like, "Where's Reggie?" You'd be like, "He didn't make it. He didn't make it to the afternoon practice."
He had lunch though.
Yeah, he had lunch.
Yeah, I think he.
And they gave him his plane ticket while he was eating the salad. Like, "Here's your plane ticket. You're flying out of Albany on the connection."
Wow. Sitting in row 36 on Spirit Airlines. Thanks for nothing.
Next to the bathroom.
I think if that happens, if they give you the airline ticket while you're at lunch, I think it's okay to steal an apple or a cookie. I think that's fair. Like, "Hey, listen, that apple's mine." Yeah, I'm taking it with
I don't think they serve apples and cookies on Spirit Airlines.
No, they don't. They do charge you for air, though. Fourth in football, Doug Peterson says that Jalen Hurts' success is expected. Here's the quote for you. "No surprise to me, the success that Jalen's having right now. I just wish him the best moving forward. He's the right guy for that job." I mean, he went to the Super Bowl last year. Doug, of course, is now down in Jacksonville. Got a pretty good quarterback himself in Trevor Lawrence. But, it's always good to see guys talk highly about other teams' players. I assume he was asked about it because of his time in Philly years ago. Right. But that's a classy move.
I mean, look at this guy's career, man. He was a starter in Alabama in the national championship, and Nick Saban replaced him in the second half of that game with Tua. He goes to Oklahoma, has a great season, and he's been nothing but stellar playing the quarterback position his whole career.
Yep.
And he's only going to continue to get better with the weapons that he has.
Somewhere Tyrod Taylor's saying, "What about me? I've got the same numbers 3 years into my career."
But he has a team. He has a defense, A.J. Brown, D. Smith. So he has all the weapons to make a run to get to the Super Bowl, and they're still the best team in the NFC.
I'm being told there's holding on the play. We have an extra fourth in football for you.
Okay.
We told you yesterday that Justin Jefferson is the only wide receiver in the league that's a 99 in Madden.
Yeah.
It was announced yesterday.
How's number 99 not a 99?
He is.
No.
Yes.
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald got 99.
I was getting ready to say.
I got to be fair about it. He's now got more 99 rankings than anybody not named Peyton Manning. He did not have a good year last year. He is no longer a 99 player.
Yes, he is.
He is
the greatest defensive tackle to ever play the position.
Yes. So
he is.
We're basing it on the last 10 years.
He was.
Yeah.
His resume shows us that he is the greatest defensive tackle to ever play the position.
Well, for the 7th time, he's now got a 99, which passes Peyton Manning. I apologize.
Boom.
They're no longer
And it pains me to say that because I thought Warren Sapp was. But
yes,
he's better than Warren Sapp.
Yeah, you're in good company,
right.
At least on the football field, not so much off, but on the football field. But now it's just based on reputation. Madden lost me on that. You can't make Aaron Donald the 99 unless you're just talking
reputation.
He had 5 sacks last year.
He's getting triple teamed.
Poppycock.
He's getting triple teamed.
He's stealing money now is what he's doing.
Stealing money.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. So, is he underappreciated on your list?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
We talked about him like it's 5 years ago.
Well,
you
it's
know
not
full
five.
well.
What you mean?
He should have retired after the Super Bowl. He's not playing at the same level he played his entire career at. And yes, first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the great defensive players to ever play the game. I'm sorry, he's no longer a 99.
He is. Aaron Donald, congratulations. You're 99.
Yes.
He is a 99.
And by the way, all this butt kissing.
Yeah,
I
99.
mean, at some point, it's got to stop, guys. Look, he's cut.
Hey, great minds think alike, man. Great minds think alike.
You guys wouldn't give Aaron Donald a 99 today. You know it full well. It'd be like giving you a 99 now. You know? You don't deserve it now.
What's wrong with that?
When you played, you might have gotten one.
What do you mean,
Probably.
I did.
Did you get a 99? Oh, you told us that. Yeah, I forgot.
We showed it yesterday. Are you okay?
I forgot you were even here yesterday.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I apologize. You coming back tomorrow?
It's starting to make sense. It's starting to make sense now.
All right, coming up, of course, the big story in the NFL is the fact that Saquon Barkley did not get a deal done with the New York Giants. Josh Jacobs did not get a deal done with the Vegas Raiders. As we focus in on a man without a home right now, Saquon Barkley, $10 million. Does he play?
Welcome back to the Carton Show on FS1. Time for your late show headlines. And headline number one, Saquon Barkley and the Giants unable to agree on a contract extension.
There goes their Super Bowl hopes right out the window. Good job, guys.
Well, the question is, Craig, you mentioned earlier this week the difference was about $2 million.
In guaranteed money.
Yes, in guaranteed money.
And look,
who do you blame for this?
I always take the player side, so I want to blame the New York Giants for it. I will say that with one caveat. The Giants have the right, as every team does, to franchise guys 3 years in a row if they want to. But just take the first two. So it's guaranteed $10 million this year. If you had a great year and they franchise them again next year, it's about $12 million. Yes. So add them up. It's $22 million over the next 2 years based on them franchising him, which clearly they would have done because they just did it this year. Mm-hmm. They did offer him the $22 million as guaranteed money. And in their minds, they're saying, look, we're going to franchise you again. We're willing to guarantee both years so you feel like you have some kind of financial security. Mm-hmm. If you're Saquon and you recognize that you represent easily 50% of their offense and you're the main reason why Daniel Jones had his best year as a pro, you're saying, look, I know I'm not going to make $40 million a year. I get that. But if you're just going to match what the franchise tag is, you're disrespecting me. Right. Because of my value to the team. And by the way, he wasn't asking for 35. I was told he was asking for like 25, 26. Mm-hmm. Just a couple million more. I'm willing to sign the 2-year deal with you. I'm willing to have it guaranteed. I want it guaranteed. But you got to make it a little richer than what I'm going to get anyway on the franchise tag. Now, here's the risk with that. Saquon Barkley's taking a major risk that he has as good a years last year, and of course that he's injury-free, which he has not been throughout his career. The Giants are taking the risk that they have a guy that decides not to show up September 10th against the Dallas Cowboys.
But that doesn't make me feel any better as a player just because you're going to guarantee me that you're going to franchise me for the next 2 years.
Yep.
That doesn't make me feel good about me and the organization and where I'm at playing.
Sure.
And I'm reading between the lines of this tweet saying that it is what it is. And it says to me that he's saying, do not take my kindness for weakness.
Okay.
I think that's exactly what he's saying.
All right, so let me ask you a question.
I know I'm a nice guy, and I've been handling this whole situation with class, but don't take my kindness for weakness.
Right, and also what he's saying to you is, listen, it's ugly, but it is a business, and I'm very well aware of that now. But let me ask you a question. And I don't want to put words in your mouth. I want to be clear. This is not coming from Saquon. Yeah. I want just your opinion. Yeah. Knowing him at least a little bit, where you talked to him a couple weeks ago. Do you think he's the kind of guy that would actually skip a game? Would he not play that week one against the Dallas Cowboys to make a point? Cost him $500,000 to do it. Is he that kind of guy out of principle? I'm going to show you what it looks like without me.
I believe so. I would. Just to take a stance and to see, let the organization see how the offense looks without him.
Right.
And I don't think they have a chance to win on opening night without him. they still may not win with him, but without Saquon Barkley in the backfield, there's so many dynamics of the offense that has to change because you can't rely on him getting him the ball those 15 times or 20 times a game that you know he's going to have an impact. And now you're just putting more pressure on Daniel Jones to throw more than 15 touchdowns in a season which is not elite in any stretch of imagination. But what it does to the offense is that Brian Daboll is going to have to change up his whole scheme, his whole offense to be productive and get some production out of these receivers that they brought in and for him to play better. And I believe he will skip the first game of the season just to prove a point.
Which means that he sits out the entire training camp because he can't come to training camp until he signs the tender.
So week to week.
Yep. It's going to be, this is going to be, you know how New York is. It's different than most cities. This is going to be every day.
Right.
And Matt Breida, by the way, is now the incumbent starting running back for the New York Giants. But they open up Sunday, September 10th, divisional game against the Dallas Cowboys. And, you know, the rub on that is if Matt Breida starts and they beat the Cowboys, then what does he do? Now, remember this. It's a little wrinkle not a lot of people pay attention to. The New York Giants, much like the Raiders and Josh Jacobs, much like Dallas and Tony Pollard, although he did sign his franchise, so he's a little different, they can rescind the franchise tag and tell you to hit the streets. Doesn't make sense to do that.
Not at all.
But that's on the table. And if the New York Giants thought, hey, we can go get Dalvin Cook for half as much money and then figure it out after this year and release him, here's the question. This is why I bring it up. If they did, I'm not saying they will, it doesn't make sense to do it. But if the Giants said you're out, we rescind the franchise tag, we cut you, you're an unrestricted free agent. Is there a team in the NFL today that would give him more than $22 million guaranteed over the next 2 years?
He won't be on the waiver wire for more than an hour. Because he automatically makes a team a contender.
Yeah, and you know where he goes, right?
And to win a world championship.
Kansas City Chiefs, overnight. Hey, that's where I would go.
I would go to Kansas City for $8 or $9 million to play in that offense.
Win a Super Bowl.
I would.
That's right. So again, I don't think the Giants do it. And here's the other thing we've not talked about at all yet today that I think is worthy of a few minutes of conversation. Brian Daboll and Joe Shane come from the same place. They're Buffalo guys, right? Essentially in their pro careers.
Right.
Brian Daboll is going to be asked about this the next time he's in front of a microphone, obviously. I would think that he can't be happy about this. Now, he has a voice in the room. I'm sure Joe Shane says, hey, Coach, where are you at on this? I'm sure he wants Saquon Barkley back because he represents, his success year one. But I'd love to know the infighting, if there was any, or if he's on the same page as Joe Shane.
And this is the part of the job as a coach that you don't like.
Yeah.
Because this is New York City, the media capital of the world, and every single day they're going to stick a microphone and every
and he has to go along with it, right?
Coach.
Doesn't Brian Daboll have to say?
He's going to have to just make up stories of how we can coexist without Saquon Barkley,
right?
Even though he know it's not true.
Yep, and that's going to be interesting to me. The question's going to be: did you agree with the decision not to get Saquon Barkley signed?
But he has no say-so in it because he's not in the room with the general managers in the front office making those decisions financially to keep Saquon Barkley on the team because his hands are tied.
I don't care who you want to blame. There's plenty of blame to go around. The end result is the same no matter who you blame. Right now, today, the New York Giants cannot win a Super Bowl. As good as Brian Daboll is, and he's a great young coach, as good as Joe Shane has done as GM in opening up salary cap space and bringing guys in like Paris Campbell, like Darren Waller, making them a better team, they cannot win a Super Bowl the way they are currently constituted. And I would go so far as to say you're going to get regression out of your quarterback, and you're not going to make the playoffs, let alone win a Super Bowl.
Headline number 2.
And by the way, they gave Daniel Jones, Mr. Greedy, selfish McSelfishin, they gave him $82 million guaranteed over the next 2 years. Maybe if Daniel Jones took a little less, you would have gotten Saquon Barkley signed. So the two guys I blame the most for what happened in New York are Daniel Jones and Isaiah Pacheco.
Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, his success made it easy for the Giants to say, hey, Matt Breida, you're our guy.
Well, if that's the case, it's more than just Isaiah Pacheco.
Okay, well, he's the guy I know.
Okay.
So,
Headline number 2, Josh Jacobs and the Raiders also unable to agree on a long-term extension, and Jacobs led the NFL in all-purpose yards last season with 2,053. Jacobs on Twitter retweeted all of the running backs supporting running backs not getting deals. So, Craig, my question for you is, why did Josh Jacobs block you on Twitter?
yeah, by the way, what the heck's going on with that? This morning I went to go check out what Josh had to say about the situation yesterday, and I can't read it because bang! I got blocked. I got blocked by the great Josh Jacobs. All I've done is support you in your quest to get paid like you deserve, and he blocks me.
Well, they don't like
sensitive bastard.
You're not welcome in Cincinnati. Obviously, Josh Jacobs doesn't like you. How far is this thing going to go?
That's a very good question, Plex. I'll appreciate you making a phone call on my behalf after the show. Here's the thing that really, it's like an Oprah moment. It pulls on your emotional heartstrings. Josh Jacobs is essentially a kid, right? He's like 4 years old, whatever it is. Right. And he thinks he's going to get a deal done. His agent said to him, it's actually close. Don't read all the nonsense out there. We are close. I think we're going to get it done. Matter of fact, it's coming right down to the wire. And this poor guy calls up Max Crosby, his teammate, picks him up. They drive over to the facility, and he sits in the car across the street from the facility, waiting for the phone to ring from his agent, kind of like you're waiting for, a girl to call you. Oh, I think she called. Oh, you're in the shower. I think I heard the phone ring. And the call never comes. And then at 4:05, his agent calls him and says, sorry, kid, couldn't get the deal done. You either play on the franchise tag or you don't play at all. And now he's sitting here with Max Crosby. Now what do you do? Take me home?
Well, Max Crosby got paid.
Yeah, Max Crosby. You hope Max Crosby took him out for lunch or something, right? Yeah. But yeah, so Josh Jacobs, same decision that Saquon's got. You either play and make $10 million, or you sit out. My gut is that they both sit out a portion of training camp, and as the season gets close, maybe that changes a little bit. But the other part of it is that now they can't get extensions until next year. They can't. There's nothing to even talk about.
But we don't even know what the Las Vegas Raiders offered Josh Jacobs.
We don't. We know they were close, though. We know that.
We don't know the numbers. We don't know the guaranteed money because we haven't heard anything out of the camp.
No, and I'm never going to find out because he blocked me.
Yeah, I said yesterday I didn't think the Las Vegas Raiders were going to sign him to a long-term deal, and they didn't.
Yeah, the other thing is when you compare him to Saquon Barkley, you do have to go back a little bit to their collegiate careers and just look at how many carries Saquon's had in comparison. Like Jacobs has a lot less mileage on his legs than Saquon Barkley does.
Well, he hasn't been a featured back either.
Okay, I'm saying, but he's got 400 fewer carries. Right. Like, that's significant at that level. But it just, again, all the running backs now coming out supporting these guys, and Tony Pollard, who did sign his franchise tag a couple months ago. So he's kind of resigned to the fact, I'll make my $10 million and go from there. Listen, they have to play because, not to compare them to Le'Veon Bell, who has since publicly apologized to Steeler fans and Steeler Nation for holding out before he wound up coming to the New York Jets, and his career was never the same. It's $10 million that you will never, ever make back. And I don't care who you are. If you're a 25-year-old kid and you're pissed, and rightfully so, you got to play because you can't walk away from the money.
Yeah, the guys are frustrated, man, because 10 or 12 years ago, the franchise tag was more than what it is today. And every position in the NFL, the salary has continued to increase annually besides the running back position.
The league or the teams. And here's the thing that always gets me. I'm sorry to go long on this, but, when you're up by 2 points, right, with 2 minutes to go, what does everyone say? You better hand the ball off, burn that clock out, and win the game. Yep. Meaning you better have a running back you trust in the backfield. So the value of the running back is huge to win close games. Yeah. We always talk about, cold weather teams and having to win in the East Coast in December and January, right?
Absolutely.
And what do you need to do that? A running back you trust.
Yes.
So when it comes to game planning, we don't devalue the running back. When it comes to paying the running back, we devalue them. Mm-hmm. But you're going to see it frequently this year. Watch how many games the Giants lose this year because they don't have a guy to hand the ball off to, up by a point or two with a minute or two to go.
Well, headline number 4, final headline. Shohei Ohtani once again does something astonishing. Hits a game-tying home run. It's astonishing. The guy hit a game-tying home run in the 7th yesterday with an incredible backflip.
The bat flip's great. I'll give you that. But you just said
the bat landed perfectly. Look at the bat.
Great, landed. He's awesome. He's perfect,
Yes,
right?
he is.
Here's the deal, though.
What?
You just said he did something astonishing.
Yes.
Aaron Judge did it last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Did what?
He did the same damn thing.
Aaron Judge is not. He's not a pitcher.
But he hit a
You're
home
missing
run.
the whole.
That's what he gets
concept of
paid
what
to
we're saying.
do.
Look at this. He's ahead of Aaron Judge from last year. He's ahead of him in RBIs, home runs, batting average, OPS.
Yeah.
He's actually everything Aaron Judge did, Ohtani does better.
You might say he's better than Aaron Judge.
You might.
You might.
Will you?
He is.
Say it, Craig. For the love of God, say it.
He's very close. He's very close.
Just say he's better.
But I'll tell you something right now.
Who would you
the
rather
New York
have?
Yankees better sign him before they leave town.
Who would you rather have on your team if you could pick either one of them?
Right now.
What happened?
Who would you rather have
Who would
right
you rather
now?
have?
You're a Yankee fan.
They're
Who would you
telling
rather
me,
have?
unfortunately, we're just out of time.
Answer
for
the
this
question. Who would you rather have
Who
right
would
now?
you rather have?
I mean, first off, I want to say one caveat to that.
okay.
Oh, give me the caveat.
All right, what's your
Come
caveat?
on.
What's your caveat?
I think Ohtani should be a closer. Outside of that, yes, I would take Ohtani over Aaron Judge.
Yeah, we got him!
But I will say this. Here's what we've learned from both guys.
What's that?
Being the best player in the league does not equate to winning.
That is true.
Well,
And that's
he's
the reality.
winning.
He ain't winning. What's he winning? They lost 11 out of 14.
They're like what? Well,
The Angels are like
They're
out of it,
done.
unfortunately.
They're
That's why
done.
he's going to be traded.
The Yankees are going downhill. The greatest player in baseball does not equate to your team winning games.
blame it on Mike Trout.
All right, it's Mike Trout's fault.
It's not. It isn't.
Coming up, one last go-round on Dak Prescott, who says he's not going to throw more than 10 interceptions this year. Yeah, it's part of his stand-up act. We'll hear the rest of it right after this. All right, we get ready to close out the show with a little Dallas Cowboy action. Dak Prescott says, I know who I am. Yep. Okay, but then he clearly showed that he does not know who he is by saying, I will not throw 10 interceptions this year. Here's the full quote. You can go back and take away half of my interceptions last year on drops. I'm not saying it's on the receiver, but if you cut that in half, blah, 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 I won't have 10 interceptions this year. My man led the league in interceptions last year. Didn't play in every game. Missed 5 games. By the way, the Cowboys were 4-1 in those 5 games. He's feeling it. That's all this means to me, is that now he's hearing everything being said about him on shows like this. He's tired of it. He's got the rabbit ears, but he's sick of it. He's like, last year's not representative of who I am as a quarterback. Except that it is, because that's why you lost to San Francisco, and that's why the Dallas Cowboys have not gotten to an NFC Championship game in a quarter of a century. Whose fault was that one? Yeah. I will say this, Dak Prescott, good guy, worst out-pattern quarterback in the history of football.
Hey, you got to be careful what you put out there.
Yeah.
You got to be
now,
careful.
look, I appreciate a guy saying I'm going to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
We can all respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But now you got to do it. And the problem when you're the Dallas Cowboy quarterback, people are paying attention, and now guys like me are going to take out their phones and their calculators and their pads and go, well, wait a minute.
Everybody's going to be
He just threw 2 picks to the New York Giants, 2.
Oh.
And we're going to have like a Dak Prescott interception watch every
We
single
should
week.
put up a board. We should put up a Dak Prescott board.
Right.
We're going to do that. A Dak Prescott interception board's coming to the Carton Show this fall.
And we'll put it right on him.
There you go.
Yeah.
There
we'll
you
put
go.
it right on him.
That works,
We'll
doesn't
put it right on him.
Like that.
Yeah.
Because guess what? It is on him.
It is on him. And just to set the mood right, he plays the Giants on September 10th. There you go. 3. We start with 3. There you go. Oh, by the way, and then he plays the Eagles. He's got the Jets. He's got the Eagles again, the Giants again. Washington? Okay, maybe not. Yeah. So we start
He
off
said
with
Washington, maybe not.
It's got a great game.
So that's what we'll do. We'll keep a little interception count right there on Dak Prescott's arm, and we'll follow it throughout the year. Listen, here's the deal. They have a lot of talent. They actually got some wide receivers to help out. They got Stephon Gilmore to play cornerback on the other side of the field from Diggs. They have legitimate talent, Micah Parsons, our world defender. If Dak Prescott lives up to what he's now talking about, they are going to be a very good team.
I still think they need more offense. CeeDee Lamb has to take it to a next level if the Dallas Cowboys want to compete in the NFC.
You like Cooks there, though, right?
I love Cooks. Michael Gallup, he has all the tools and all the weapons to be able to go out and have some success offensively. But from the running back position, we don't know how healthy Tony Pollard is.
Yep.
And if he does not throw 10 interceptions, they should make the playoffs, but I don't think that they will this year.
It's going to be interesting because the Eagles, of course, come back loaded after the Super Bowl run. Yeah. The New York Giants now, I think, take a major step back with the Saquon situation. You could make an argument that Dallas is playing for second place, but it will be interesting to see really how good Philly is. Historically, teams that lose the Super Bowl come back and have very tough years because their schedule is harder or whatever the case may be, attrition of veteran players. I think Philly comes back loaded, but we'll see exactly what they do off the Super Bowl loss. Before we get out of here, a little something we like to call Like It or Spike It. You guys ready to rock?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Let me start you off in a resort pool and my main man, Shaquille O'Neal. If your kid's in the pool with Shaq and Shaq pretends to start drowning, do you like it or spike it that your kid's all over Shaq's naked body?
Hey, man, just ride him like a whale. That's all I can tell you.
Like it?
Like it.
Like it?
Okay.
Shaq, sure.
Is that his house, though? That's probably his house.
Billy.
His pole looks like that at his house.
Billy, come home. Billy, come home. Look at Shaq right there. God, that's a large.
He's a large man.
That's a large.
Yeah, those 30 kids probably couldn't pick him up. All right, let me go to the second one here. Like this or spike this. 69-year-old grandma loves LaMelo Ball. Yeah. So her family got her a LaMelo Ball cake. But what? Oh, there's... Oh!
Go, Grandma. Go, Grandma. Go, Grandma.
You like that or spike that?
I love it.
I like it.
Let's go. Good
Grandma,
for you, Grandma.
tongue-kissing LaMelo Ball.
That's somebody's mom.
That is definitely someone's mom.
Somebody's grandma.
That is definitely somebody's grandma.
You guys like it? Fair enough.
Very much.
Oh, yeah.
Yuck. Woo, that's beautiful.
Real quick, the Browns unveiled the throwback alternate jersey for 23. Show me the photo.
Spike it.
Like it. What? They all suck. What does it matter?
It's the Browns.
It's the
Have
Browns.
yourselves a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.